welcome. Today I'm going to share with you something that is really important in terms of your journey to love. In fact, I would say it's a key first step on the path to meeting and attracting the right man. So if you're a woman who is single right now, who would like to be in partnership, a loving, passionate partnership relationship with the right guy, then stay tuned. My name is Michelle Marchant Johnson. I'm with Love Life Coaching, and I'm here to support you on your journey to love and to help you remember that you are a woman of high value and you deserve to be with your own version of your high quality man, the man that is just right for you. Now, I want for you to imagine with me for a moment that you are a world-class swimmer. All of your life you've trained and you've set goals for yourself, and you've become stronger and you've become wiser and you've become clearer about some of your swimming goals and some of the records you might want to break or set. And I want you to imagine that you had set a goal to swim from the California coast to Catalina Island, which is about a 26-mile swim. And I want you to imagine that you've envisioned this in your mind and you've had ideas as to what it would take to get there, and you've trained for it and you've prepared for it. And now you're in the middle of this swim. However, this is a day that you've chosen to do this swim where the waters are very rough and you're getting bounced around and you're being swept from side to side in the water instead of being able to just move forward. There are even sharks in the water, and you've got a boat next to you with people that are there prepared to help you if you need to get back in the boat. But you've been swimming now for 15 hours and every muscle in your body hurts. You're exhausted and you're pushing it with everything you've got and you're fighting the elements. And on top of everything else, a deep, dense fog is setting in. And the fog is so thick and so deep and so ominous that you can no longer really see hardly anything in front of you, let alone see the shoreline or the destination of what you're shooting for. Now, this is a true story of a woman who was a world-class swimmer named Florence Chadwick. She was born in 1918, and in 1952, she decided to attempt this 26-mile swim between the California coastline and Catalina Island. And about 15 hours into this swim, the fog became so dense and so thick that she could no longer see where she was going, and she no longer could see the destination or see what her goal was. It was no longer in sight. And so she pushed on for as long as she could. She pushed on for another hour through this, but it was so ominous, and she couldn't even see hardly anything in front of her. And she finally, not knowing how far she had to go and not being able to see the goal in sight, she finally had to give up and get in the boat. And of course, she was so disappointed and so frustrated because she had prepared for this for so long, and she had wanted this so badly, and she had trained her body and she had trained her mind. But when she could no longer see the goal in sight and no longer had that clarity of vision about where she was going, she lost her way. She no longer had the strength to keep going. She was like tossed by the waves, and she was overcome by the fog. And the reason I'm sharing this story with you is one of the keys that I believe that is really important for you on your journey to love when it comes to meeting and attracting the right man is to have clarity of vision about the future that you want to create. And that includes several components. One is having deep clarity about who you really are, what really makes you happy, what your goals, priorities, wishes, hopes, and dreams are, what your deepest love wants and needs are, what would really make your heart sing in terms of a loving, committed relationship, knowing what your values are, knowing what really matters to you in terms of your lifestyle and what you want your life to be like and what you imagine partnership to be like. And having clarity about your boundaries and standards and knowing what is right and best for you and being able to stay true to those. And then last but not least, having clarity about the kind of man that you would want to be with, the characteristics, the character, the heart qualities that this man would likely possess, the kind of man that you could admire, respect, appreciate, and trust, and feel safe with, the kind of man that would love, cherish, and adore you. And what I'm telling you is, with my clients, it's been so amazing, because even though many of my clients might come to me believing that they have a lot of clarity around this, in almost every case, there's an opportunity for us to go deeper in some of these areas and have a deeper understanding about what it is that is most important to you. Because when you can begin to envision and see that future, then you're no longer in the fog, and you're much less likely to be swept away by the waves or the wrong man or the wrong relationship. You're unlikely to get shark bitten by someone who might be harmful to you. And you can keep your eye on that prize. You can keep your eye on that destination, on that shoreline, and that helps you to keep moving forward and keep swimming on, so to speak, when the waves are rough, when your mind and body is feeling exhausted. And you can keep going because you can see what is out there for you. You have a vision. You have a vision that inspires you and motivates you to keep going through the ups and downs of dating. And I wanted to share with you a real life account of one of my clients that I worked with a few years ago. This wonderful woman, Amanda, was dating when I first started working with her. And yet she was dating men that she did not feel like would be suitable for the long term. In other words, she said she was dating for fun and still in the back of her mind hoping to find the one. But she really didn't have clarity about some of the things that I just mentioned. And so she would fall into these patterns of getting involved with men that she kind of knew she didn't really want to end up with in the long run. They were kind of Mr. Right Nows instead of Mr. Rights. And that was because she didn't have clarity about some of the things we've talked about, like who she really was, what her deepest love, wants, and needs were, what she really wanted, what her vision was for the future, the kind of man that she really wanted to be with. So we began to work on these things, and Amanda began to be so inspired by this that she began to feel like she no longer wanted to settle for the kind of substandard dating relationships that she'd been involved in for a number of years. And she began to upgrade her vision of what she thought was possible for herself. She began to let go of some of these relationships that hadn't served her well, some of these dating relationships, and she began to show up as a woman of high value in her interactions with men. And I'm so thrilled to let you know that as a result of this and some of the other work that we did, she was able to meet an amazing man who loves, cherishes, and adores her, someone of great character who she admires, respects, and trusts, whom she married. And because she was one of my younger clients in her late 30s, also was able to have a baby and is living the life of her dreams. And this was so powerful for her that it literally changed the trajectory of where she was going with her love life. She was no longer out there in the fog and the rough waters with the sharks, wondering if she could make it. She had this vision, and once she could begin to see what was possible for her, that allowed her to swim toward that shoreline, so to speak. And I feel like this is such a happy and wonderful story, and it makes my heart sing every time I get to think about it, because the transformation for Amanda was so powerful. And in fact, at one point, Amanda's dad, I actually had Amanda's dad ask to speak with me on the phone, and he thanked me for the work that I did with Amanda, because he had seen her out there struggling in the stormy seas, so to speak, and lost in the fog. And he was so grateful that she was able to get support and move through that and to meet and marry the man of her dreams. Now, my point in sharing that is not to make me the star, because my clients are the stars. Amanda's the one that had the courage and the conviction and the bravery to take all of this on and to do this work. But I'm just sharing with you this concept of having clarity of vision about the future that you want to create can be so powerful. And in the program that I'm going to be sharing with you, I'm going to be sharing with you a step-by-step process that I will be teaching in the context of this program, and this is one beginning piece. And I want to say that even if you're tempted to think you have absolute clarity, I want to invite you to consider the possibility that having a deeper understanding and clarity about yourself, your deepest love wants and needs, and what you really want in a way that motivates and inspires you in a deep and profound way is something that there may still be some opportunity in. So we will talk about this more in the future, but I just want to let you know that when you begin to see that vision of the shore, or that vision of where you're going to, that vision of what you want to create for yourself, that future that you desire, that is the beginning of making it possible. And I'm holding that vision for you. I'm sending love and blessings your way, and I can't wait to connect with you further. Be sure to leave your comments below. Click like on the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I have so much good stuff coming your way. Lots of love for now. Bye-bye.